I've had my hair up all day. I want it down. Oh, let me fix. I should have took my hair down earlier. Oh well, let me get these settings right. Hello, Dark. I don't know who that is. And there's Edith. Hey, Edith and Chill. Hello, people. Welcome. I got to get my settings set on here. I went live before I got them set up, so. I didn't turn my notifications off again. Oh my goodness. What are y'all going to do with me? Oh, I got to get this. I got to move away from that vent. It's blowing air right in my face and I'm going to be coughing. That's okay. Let's see what else I need to do. I think that's got it. And I'm going to just bring the chat up here so I can see it on my screen because it keeps fading away on the camera. I don't know who Dark is. Somebody must have changed their name. How are you folks doing? Well, they must know us. It's me, Ann's here, Shatika, Mary. I'm still puzzled at who Dark is. I don't know who Dark is. There it is. Might end up putting my hair back up. I don't know if I can handle it down. Skip. I don't like the lighting in here right at the moment. It makes me look drained out. But oh well, let me get down here to live chat. Oh, just changed your name. Who were you before, Dark? I don't, cause I don't, I don't have a clue. I figured you knew who we were, not just a new subscriber, because the way you were talking to everybody, it was like you knew everybody already. There's Tamara, Donna, Mary, Shatika, Ann, Dark, Edith, Tamara, Jessica. How's everybody doing? I was going to do another cooking video, but then I decided no, I want to go live first And then maybe after the live is over, I'll go ahead and do a cooking video and post it tomorrow. I've already got one video that I'm going to post in the morning, but it's not really cooking. So, yeah, we got both Tamaras here. We got Tamara Aimling and Tamara Douglas. So that's good. We got everybody here. Well, not everybody, but we got a lot of people here. We got 24 in here already. It's been rainy here all day. It's been wet outside. The sun only come out later this afternoon. And I apologize. I didn't turn the settings off, the notifications off. And there's Debbie. Hey, Debbie, how are you doing? I didn't turn the settings off, so it's going to beep every time a notification comes in. I apologize for that. So, oh well. We'll live. I guess we'll live through it. And I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Fouad Madrid. Hola to you too. Hola. You must be Spanish or Mexican. Hola. Debbie's doing okay. Well, good. I hope everybody else has been doing well today. I've been great. I actually got a good night's sleep last night for a change. Sleeping, going to bed, going to sleep, and just sleeping all night uninterrupted is such a treat for me. Y'all know that. A lot of times I don't sleep. I'm up all night. And then it wipes me out the next day. I look like I'm sick. I look terrible the next day. But I actually slept last night. I apologize for that. I know y'all hear it. And there's Jeannie, Paula. We're getting a lot of people in here, some of our regulars. And I don't recognize Foiuad Madre. I know I can't pronounce that name correctly, so I don't really want to try. I could just say Faux Madrid. Foad. He's flying a flag, but you know what? I don't know my flags, so I don't know what country that's from. Does anybody know what flag that country is from? Love you. Yeah, I slept all night long. Can you believe it? And it was like 10 o'clock when I woke up this morning. And then I just didn't want to get up. I just wanted to lay there. And I woke up and I said, because the first thought that went through my mind was, oh no, not again. I'm awake, And then I looked around the bedroom and it was like not dark, but it was not light either. And it was like cloudy outside. And I said, well, at least I slept through the night. It's morning, early. And when I picked up my cell phone on the nightstand in there and looked at the time, it was 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I don't usually sleep that late. I was wore out. Tamara said your fish dinner with green beans. Oh, it was so good. I've been lazy so far today. I really haven't cooked anything. I did make a green salad, which I made the video with, and that I'll post in the morning, just a short video. And I've got a video that I'm going to do maybe after this live, an actual cooking video. It's not a whole meal or anything, but it's one that I'm thinking I might do before I go to bed tonight. So I'll post that tomorrow as well. Yeah, people don't realize, with me, if you don't have allergies, you are blessed. If you sleep every night, all night, you are blessed. Because I constantly, every day, fight with allergies. And almost every other night, I don't sleep. And it wipes you out. It stresses out your body unbearable. I mean, it's just unreal. People don't realize just not sleeping stresses your body out tremendously. There's my notifications again. If I could, I'd go in and turn them off right now, but I can't. If I start messing with the camera, it's going to mess my live up. So I'm just going to leave it. Y'all just have to ignore the beep, beep, beep. Yeah, there's nothing like a good night's sleep. Yeah. You keep thinking it's your phone. Well, I'm sorry. I've turned the notifications on my phone off and on so many times today that I honestly thought that it was off when I started the live. But it wasn't. I had turned it back on for some reason and then forgot to turn it back off when I, went live. No problem with the beeps. Well, I guess we'll have to put up with it because I don't want to end the live and start it again. Well, thank you for that, Debbie. I've been through a lot. Well, all of you know that have been subscribers of mine almost since day one that I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I mean, there's been a lot of emotional stuff. And I almost was going to say relationship, but it wasn't even a relationship either for quite a few years ago that's still affecting me today. And I can't go into detail because you think I totally lost my mind. But that's the reason I'm not sleeping, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I mean, sleeping pills don't help. There's nothing that I've been able to take that will knock me out and let me sleep. On those nights, I'm not sleeping. I'm just up all night. And I feel like I've been plugged in and I'm wound up. I mean, it's hard to explain. But then by the next day, you're totally wiped out. You're just totally drained. You have no energy, nothing. So yeah, anybody that does not fight with allergies every day or they sleep every night, they just don't know how well off they are. I mean, there's been some weeks that I didn't get maybe 2 nights sleep the whole week. Something like that, Tamara. It's one of the reasons that I stopped working at the school as a teacher and all that. Well, I can't go into it on here, so I'll just hush. And there's Jeremy. Well, it's a long story, Jeremy. I just wish I could change it, but there's really not a whole lot I can do about it. The more I try to do about it, the worse off I am. So I've just left it alone, and I have to deal with no sleep. And I got my cat scratching at the door. Him and Lucky's had supper already. I gave them dinner. And I guess now he's scratching for his dessert. He wants his catnip treats, I guess. And he's heard my voice, so he knows I'm in here. So he's probably not going to leave me alone until I get up and give him his treats. Let me give him his treats. Y'all can hear him. Little buddy, what am I going to do with you, huh? What am I going to do with you? Well, evidently they're not hungry because Lucky or little buddy, either one, ate but about half of their food that I put out there. But they still wanted their dessert, so I had to give them their catnip treats. And And there's Jeremy. Hopefully better night's sleep soon. We just lost our 18-year-old dog. Oh, that's so sad. That's just like losing your family member, you know? And 18 years, that's a long time to have a pet. That sound was so funny. Can just imagine a pawn sweeping through the cracks of the door. Yeah, well, y'all know how I got the cats. I mean, they adopted me. I didn't go out and get them. They just came here and adopted me, and they're here. Yeah, they always say that pets choose their owners, that owners don't choose the pet. I mean, you can go purchase a pet, you can go get a pet, but if that pet doesn't want you, he's not going to have nothing to do with you. He could be a very difficult animal unless he really wants to be your pet. And Jeannie, yes, so sad. I have two cats. Well, I've got two spoiled fur babies out there. They are spoiled rotten. You would think they were kids. They're spoiled so rotten. There it goes again, y'all. I can't do it like that sound, but I know it's hard not to. I know I had my previous red tabby cat that was named Crybaby, and I got that cat when I went on a knife demonstration for Cutco. I went over to do on a ranch over in Joshua. A lady named Sarah. I went to her ranch to do a knife demo for her for Cutco products, and she bought a whole set of knives from me, like $900 set of knives. And I came home with a 5-week-old cat, which was Crybaby. And we named him Crybaby because that cat was in your face. I mean, he demanded your attention. If he was on the floor and you didn't pay attention to him, he'd come up to you, meow, and just cry. And if you didn't pick him up, he would climb up your pants leg. I mean, literally climb up your clothes and get in your face. He did not let you ignore him. So I kept telling him he was nothing but a crybaby. And then I got to thinking, well, that's a great name for him, just Crybaby. And one of my son's friends was here one day, and we were talking about naming him Crybaby. He said, yeah, that's a real Texas name because you can name him Crybaby and call him CB. Because most guys in Texas go by initials. They don't go by their whole name. So that name stuck, Crybaby, and we called him CB for short. And that cat was here. I had him for 14 years, I think it was, before he passed away. The vet said he had cat leukemia and there was nothing you could do. You couldn't treat it. And I ended up having to put him to sleep, which just killed me. That was like losing a child almost, you know, it hurt so bad. Linda watching from Northern California, very hot today, peace and blessings. Well, thank you, Thomas, for coming in and watching us and joining our live chat. You're most welcome here. Is Bubba a normal nickname for boys in Texas? Yeah, Bubba. That's kind of a redneck name, Bubba. I think in North Carolina, too. You know, I don't really know what a name for women are out here. They give guys nicknames like Bubba or something like that, but I don't know what kind of name they give the ladies. I've never really heard it, I guess. Yeah, everybody give a good welcome to Thomas, our new subscriber. Bubba shot the jukebox, great country song. Well, I'm not seeing Wilson come in tonight. I haven't seen Dennis. I haven't seen Gladys. She may be in another live somewhere. But that's okay. She can, she can watch the rerun of this. We've got 36 people watching right now, which isn't bad since I have not been going live on a regular basis like I did before. And I have not been scheduling in advance to give people notification of the live. But that was all to try to deter our trolls from coming in. They were really getting bad, the trolls. Yeah, Thomas, you and Tamara Douglas may be neighbors. I'm in Santa Rosa, California, 1 hour north of San Francisco. How's the weather in California today? We've been getting rain most of the time here, almost like every other day. But I'm not complaining as long as we don't get wind or tornadoes or hail or damaging stuff. I'll take all the rain. And my garden will too. My garden thrives on the rain that we get. Yeah, I've never been to Santa Rosa, California, but I've heard that it's a nice area to live in. Beautiful here. Yeah. It's beautiful up here. I'd rather live a little bit north, and be honest, me and my wife for 40 years was thinking about moving to Texas and getting out of California. Well, it might be a little warm in California, but I guarantee you it's going to be hotter in Texas. If you don't mind hot weather and drought, come on. Because it was a new experience for me, because moving here from North Carolina, where it's usually wet and humid, and the highest heat you would get is about 95, which is almost comparable to 105 in Texas. And then moving to Texas where it got dry, I mean dry, dry, dry in the summer, and extra hot in the summer, was a big change. But thank goodness this is usually a dry hot, so it doesn't seem as hot when it's dry air like that as it does if it was humid, real humid. Because back home, when it rains and gets really, really extremely humid, even 90, 95 degrees, you step out in the yard and it's like stepping out in a steam bath. I mean, the air is so thick with steam you can barely breathe. And it never gets that way here. Been very cold in Pittsburgh. Average for May was 54. Oh, wow. 54 degrees in May. Yeah, we've already pushed almost 100 out here some days. It's been in the 90s. Well, I just jump for joy when I get these kind of days, kind of overcast, cloudy, a little cooler. Like it's 83 right now. So it was in the 90s today probably, or high 80s anyway. But a little cooler than usual. And with the sun not just baking down on you so bad, it seems like it's not as hot. When that sun is on you, oh my God, it's unbearable almost. There it went again. Very cool here in Ohio. Only 57 degrees right now. To me, that's cold. I'd like it about 70, 75 degrees. I said I'd be a perfect candidate to move to Hawaii, I think, because that's pretty much their average temperature all year round. But I don't think I could handle the bugs out there. It never gets cold enough to kill off the bugs. And that would be a problem. It's hot and humid on the coast. Oh, my nose is itching. Well, I got on one of Kai Ellis's videos the other day, one of his shorts, and it was raining. And I made the comment in there, Kai, you need to send us some of that rain. Well, he messaged back and he said, it's on its way. And you know, the next day it rained here. So I messaged him back and I said, thank you, Kyle. We got the rain. I miss seeing him in the lives. He doesn't come in our live much anymore. But he's busy. He works all the time and then he posts his own videos as well. So, and with those two little boys, I'm sure that keeps him busy too. Tamara said we both need sun. No, that was Jeremy saying that. He was telling Tamara we need some sun. Yeah, I don't mind these gloomy, overcast days because it cools things off a little bit. You're 65 miles from the Gulf, Paula. And Ann said it's very hot outside today, but I had 6 heated big blankets on me. I was freezing. I was getting blood transfusions. That's right. You said you were getting blood transfusions today. I hope that all went well. And I'm sure your blood had something to do with you being cold, too. Debbie said, do you have fire? Oh, yes, got fire ants. That's why after all the rains, like we've been getting, you know, I'm on a rock mountain. So when all that rain goes down between the boulders and the rocks, it pushes those ants up when it stops raining. Those ants surface. And oh my God, you got to be careful walking around the yard because you will get eat alive with ants. Those are red fire ants and they hurt. So usually after I know it's going to stop raining for a day or two, I'll get out there and I'll sprinkle out ant granules to kill the ants off before they get a chance to take over the yard completely. And it pretty much takes care of them or keeps them down until the next rain. But yeah, I know after every real heavy rain, I know my yard is going to be full of ants. Because they're down in the ground, and when it floods them out, they have to surface, you know. I don't think my walking onion transplants are liking the high 40s night temperature. Well, one thing about it, Tamara, those walking onions survive even freezing weather. So I wouldn't worry about them as long as they don't completely dry out. You keep the ground damp. As soon as it warms up a little bit, they're going to take off. Yeah, fire ants do bite, Debbie, and they hurt. And the next couple of days after you get bitten, it causes a little red bump on your leg or your foot, wherever it bites you, and then the center is just full of pus. And it burns, it hurts, it itches. And the more you scratch, the more it itches. I usually pop them open and put antibiotic cream on them, and usually that stops the itching so I don't scratch them. And there's Abdul. Hi there, Abdul. I'm doing great. I slept last night, so I feel good today. I don't look like I'm at death's door, put it that way. Troll alert. Have we got a troll in here? I haven't seen one. Some of them get pretty big. And I know in, where is it? Vietnam, they eat chocolate covered ants, but I don't think I want any. Just like a person told me that I could get all my snails in my yard and sell them. I don't know anybody that wants to buy those snails. And I don't know how to get rid of them. He's gone, okay. Because I didn't actually see a troll come in, so I wasn't sure. Now, Dark is not a troll. He's a new subscriber. Not a new subscriber. He's an old subscriber, but he changed his name. So don't block Dark from our chat unless he says something bad. And I don't see him anywhere. Is Dark still here? Oh, no, I don't, Debbie. I don't always look good. Yeah, it threw me off when I saw the name Dark when I first came into chat tonight. I just knew that was a troll. But it wasn't. He said he was here before, but whoever it was changed their name, so I don't know. It was not him, okay. Yeah, somehow that troll got by me because I never noticed he was even in chat, and you got him. You got him before I saw him, so that's good. And there's Donnie Wilson. Hello. I'm doing good, and you? Jessica Howard, Dark, and bye early. Oh, Dark said goodbye earlier. Okay, I missed that. I heard one time that table salt works on snails. Those snails get on all of my plants. Even marigolds, they'll climb the stem. And some of the plants, like the collards and the kale, the snails will actually eat the leaves. Sometimes I'm out there walking through the garden and I see 2 or 3 of them on the plant, and I'll just pop them off and throw them across the yard. I don't want snails on my plants. I think I've got more snails this year than I've ever had. I guess it's because we've had so much rain. Yeah, I've never heard about the table salt to keep snails away. I'll have to try that. But you know, salt will kill grass and weeds. I'm wondering if it would bother your plants if you put very much salt on them to keep the snails away, or on, around the dirt. I might look tired sometimes, but you look good and have a good heart. Okay, well, thank you for that compliment, Debbie. I appreciate that. See, how long have we been on? Been on almost 45 minutes or so. Corey Snail, pest control, salt. I put Epsom salts to my plants, but not regular salt, because I know salt might kill the roots or, mess the plant up from growing or something. But I have put salt out around the house, and it will kill grass. It will kill some of the weeds growing. And it will keep ants away from your house. If you run out of ant granules and you have a box of salt, just take it out there and sprinkle the salt all around the edge of your house or your patio, and it'll keep the ants away. I've never heard that. Snail chucking should be an Olympic sport. See how far you can throw them. Yeah, it changes the pH of the soil. It won't bother the plants. Okay, well, I'll remember that. Oh, I think we've got a troll, Canadian grower. Be nice tonight or you will be taken out. I'm sorry, but you will. We'll let this one remark slide. But if you make another remark that's a little off, we're going to get rid of you. Somebody just got rid of him. timed out. Oh, Ann got him. Thanks, Ann. Ann said she wasn't going to put up with him. That's good, Ann. Teach him a lesson. He don't need to come in here with that craziness. He did that one time before with that same statement, and I didn't like it then either. Basil and pine sol around the house keep snakes away. I didn't know that, but I don't really have a snake problem. I have not seen a snake here in many years. But people now below me that have more water, I guess, that's standing around where they live, like in creeks or the ditch or somewhere like that. They have been seeing snakes in their yards, but not up here on the top of this hill, because all the rainwater drains off. It's always dry up here. So they usually stay down where there's water. Yeah, he got banned the last time he come in here doing that kind of stuff. He made that exact same statement when he come in here before, too. Yeah, I've heard about the cinnamon, but you know, my garden's so big it would take quite a bit of cinnamon to put it around. I don't think I could afford the cinnamon. I can afford a bag of ant granules, but I don't think I could afford to buy enough cinnamon to go throughout my whole garden. But I've been keeping my pepper spray. And you know, my hot peppers, I've only got 2 or 3 hot pepper plants come up. I don't know what's going on. My bell peppers are growing like crazy. I've got one bush that is full of bell pepper. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to turn red, because they're supposed to be the red bell pepper. That's why I haven't picked any of them. It's crazy how one year to the next things change in your garden. Now, the hot peppers did fantastic last year. I was overrun with hot peppers. This year, like I said, I've only got 3 or 4 hot pepper plants, and I think those are the Hungarian hot wax peppers, the little yellow ones that are about that long that look like a banana pepper, but they're hot. Diatomaceous earth, the snails don't like. That's kind of pricey too. I've bought some of that and used it before, but it's kind of pricey to try to put it all over my whole garden. Well, thank you, Uncle BB. It was good. I love salmon. I could eat salmon every night. I know I didn't think to make my tartar sauce. Usually I never eat fish or shrimp or anything like that without tartar sauce, but I was too lazy yesterday when I made that video to fix the tartar sauce. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Can someone ban him? Well, I think you can put him in time out for different time periods. And I think there's a way you can block them. I'm not sure, so they can never come back into your live. But it's okay just to put them in time out. A lot of times, if they're really bad, I just put them in time out for 24 hours. That way they can't come back in the live at all that particular night. Like lasagna chill, you think that salmon is better the next day reheated? Well, I'll tell you, I'll take it when you first cook it or reheated, because I love fish. I love salmon. I'm a seafood person anyway, so. Yeah, I was wondering, she didn't mention, but she said that she was wrapped in about 6 electric blankets trying to stay warm for her blood transfusion, and I'm sure her blood is what caused her to be so cold. And there's Kathy. Hello, Kathy. It's been a while since I've seen your live. I've been watching your videos. You have a wonderful garden. Thank you. You know, it takes a lot of work to produce a garden the size I've got out there, especially when you got it all in pots, totes, and raised beds. Thank you, Uncle BB. And there's Martha Bo Morgan. Hello, how are you? You watch me from the woods of North Georgia. Well, I'm glad you watched me from the woods from in North Georgia. And I'm glad you love my posts, my videos. Nice evening, gotta be going now. Okay, Debbie, sorry to see you go, but I'm glad you came in and said hello. You have a blessed night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And we'll see you next time. Yeah, I was wondering what to do tonight. I didn't know whether to go live and do my cooking video or just get on here and chat with everybody like a lot of times everybody likes to do anyway. So this has been my lazy day, really. Rainy outside, so I couldn't do anything outside. I did that short video inside this morning or at noon. But other than that, I've just been chilling all day. But you know, my body needed that for a change. Martha said it's rainy up here too, yeah. On these rainy days, it kind of forces me to take it easy. I need to get out there and clean out my shed, my shed over here that has all my garden stuff in it. Oh my God, back when I was trying to plant everything and get everything set up, I was throwing stuff back in the shed and it's just piled up. When I open the door, right now you almost have to climb over stuff to get to where you want to go in there, if you can get anywhere. And I said, this is ridiculous. But every day that I have planned to clean that shed out and reorganize it, it's rained. So maybe one of these days coming up soon, I'll be able to clean it out. And I've got some things here in the kitchen, in the hallway that I need to put out there, get it out of the house. But I guess it's not going to hurt anybody but me. I'm usually about the only one that sees anything in here, so. Except what you see in the video. And there's Christina. Hello, Christina. Yeah, both of the sheds need to be cleaned out, but the green shed on this side of the yard over here, it has lawnmowers, ladders, wheelbarrow, wood, stuff like that in it. But it still does need to be cleaned out. It's got cement in there, but it does need to be cleaned out. And the other shed, the silver one on this other side, has all my garden stuff and my Christmas decorations that I've got packed away. But it does need to be cleaned out and straightened up. I try to do that at least once a year. And sometimes I don't get around to doing it till almost time to put out Christmas decorations. And then I have to take the stuff out because I can't get the Christmas decorations out till I get everything else out. It's crazy. Y'all, I went from being bored after I retired till now I have no time to do everything sometimes. Christina, she said she loves watching me cook. Well, I'm glad you do because you watch my videos. Many, what, 59 watching now. Wow. That was more than last night, but of course, last night wasn't usually a regular night. Tonight is when I usually have my live streams, but I hadn't had them for the last week or two. I do, reminds me of Grandma so much. Well, I take that as a compliment, Christina. And all of my subscribers, I think, know I have arthritis. And there's been a couple of my videos where my arthritis was really bothering me in my joints. And I felt like I could barely move around the kitchen to get my video done. But that's usually, it bothers me when I do a lot in the yard. You know, I do a lot of physical stuff and then I irritate my joints and then I pay for it for several days. But I feel great today. I'm not hurting anywhere. I'm not stiff. Well, thank you, Christine. I took that as a compliment. Thumbs up, please. Yeah, thumbs up. I need all the thumbs up I can get. I've got 23 thumbs up right now. I think that's what it says. Yeah. 23 out of 52 people watching. So somebody didn't do a thumbs up. Kathy Iglesias, welcome to loyal member. Well, welcome. She's a loyal member. Look at that. Welcome, loyal member. Wow. Martha Bo Morgan says she's in Elijah, Georgia. Wow. I've got several people in here from Georgia. And I think I've probably got several silent viewers that are from Georgia too. They hardly ever come into the live chat, that is. And Christina's from Wichita, Kansas. Is that where they did the Wizard of Oz in Wichita, Kansas? I don't know. I don't remember where it was. She's joined as a member, y'all. Way to go. Thumbs up for that. Hello, Martha. She's saying hello to everybody. No, but it's near here. Okay. I thought it was Wichita, Kansas, or somewhere through there that is where they did that Wizard of Oz show. That was really a cute show. I wouldn't mind just sitting down there watching it myself again at my age. I'm not a kid anymore. But like I said, I don't ever grow up. I'm still a kid at heart, so. Black Oak, Arkansas. Okay. I'm not familiar with Black Oak, Arkansas. I'd have to look at a map to see where that is. And Jessica's from Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky. You watch it yearly there, Christina? It's kind of like the thing to do, huh? And Kathy Iglesias is from Statesboro, Georgia. Pat Watson's from Northeast Arkansas. And Martha said they watch it too. Well, that's a neat movie. I loved that movie when I was a kid. My kids loved to watch it when they were growing up. You see, the cats are not scratching at the door anymore. Or little buddy's not scratching at the door. He got his dessert. He got his catnip treats. He's happy now. He can go lay down and go to sleep. Take him a mid-evening nap. Wizard of Oz was Wamego, Kansas. I have a cousin in Louisville, Kentucky, Christina says. Yeah, I'm hoping that Ann feels good now. I mean, after what she's went through today with her blood transfusion. Hopefully she's still not cold like she was earlier today. Louisville is where the Kentucky Derby is. Oh, okay. You know, people have traveled all over the world. They spend tons of money traveling all over the world. And I've never been out of the USA, really. I mean, I went to Mexico 1 year, the first year we moved here. That was the furthest, that was the only other area I went to, other than just somewhere in the United States. But you know, I have not been to that many places in the USA either. And there's so many really neat places to visit in right here in the USA. And I'm just wondering if I'll ever get to see any of them. Probably not, unless I watch a video about it. Oh no, Anne, she says she's still freezing. Did they warn you about that? Because I know the blood transfusion probably is what makes you cold, makes you feel so cold. I know when I went into surgery for my back and neck injuries many years ago, back in what, 84? I bleed a lot. So when they did surgery on me, I think they basically packed my body in ice. And I'll tell you what, they brought me to, when I woke up after surgery, I felt like I was in a deep freeze. I was so cold. They were literally wrapping me in hot blankets. I mean, blankets that they heated. They were wrapping me in hot blankets to bring my body temperature back up. I was shivering. I was so cold. It was unreal. A 5-hour transfusion is still, yes, it is. Yeah, hopefully she'll feel better tomorrow. She won't be quite as cold. But luckily, you know, after a little bit, you know, they wrapped me up in those hot blankets. I finally warmed up and I was okay. But I almost went in a state of shock and I woke up and I was totally frozen. I couldn't believe how cold it was. I don't think I've ever been that cold in my life before. I said, I've never heard of them packing anybody in ice to do surgery on them, but they had to have done something like that to make me so cold. And there's Mary Jensen. Hello, Mary. Welcome. Yeah, I just thought I'd go live tonight because we usually go live every Thursday night and we do trivia. And we haven't been doing that. So I just figured I'd go live and see how everybody's doing, what everybody's been up to. Yeah, with me, they did 2 surgeries on me in 1 week. They did my lower back surgery on a Tuesday. They put me back in surgery on Wednesday and did my neck surgery. And they went in from the front. And I do have like a scar across my neck. And it bothered me at first, you know, because you could really see the scar. You could see the incision. It was really, it just stood out. And when I got cold, it turned purple. And I was kind of depressed about it. I thought to myself, people are going to think I'm some weird biker chick that got into a fighting brawl at some biker rally or something and got her throat cut. I mean, I was down about it for a long, long time. And finally, after the years went by, that you can barely tell there's a scar there now. I mean, unless you knew it there, you would just think it was a crease, because they did put it in the crease of my neck right there. But yeah, it's funny how you get depressed over some things, you know. And that was really nothing to get depressed about, having a scar on your neck. I mean, it was the injuries and the surgeries that should have been depressing. But it was the scar that did it for me. Yeah, it's been a while, Kathy, since you've been in. I know it's been probably 2 or 3 Thursdays, hasn't it been since we've been live on Thursday night? That's what you got? No, how bad, praying for you. Well, I'm a lot better now after surgery on my neck and my lower back where I got injured, but it's not 100% cure all. I still put up with aches and pains and disabilities from it, and I always will for the rest of my life. There's sometimes I get pinched nerves in my neck or the middle of my back, and I get cramps, and there's nothing you can do about it until you can get that nerve unpinched. So I'm wiggling around doing all kind of aerobics trying to get the thing to move and get unpinched, and then the cramp will stop. But it doesn't stop me. I'm not going to sit down and feel sorry for myself. I never have, never will. I'll get out there and keep doing whatever I can possibly do physically, as long as I don't knowingly do something to hurt myself again, because I don't want that. Last time we spoke was when we were destroying our property, when those people were building. Yeah. Well, I've got another house that's went up, and it's over here behind me at the corner of the new section of the garden. And that was depressing for a while because they didn't do anything to my property, but they dug out that whole backyard, and it was like 3 foot lower than my lot or the lots around it. And when it rained, it just flooded. It looked like a swimming pool in their backyard. And the septic tanks and everything were just sitting in water. And it was causing mosquitoes, but they finally got over here this past week and they did fill it in. So there's not water standing there, but it's not completely filled in, but it's filled in enough that it doesn't look like a lake anymore. And hopefully it's not going to breed mosquitoes. And hopefully by the time they get grass or whatever they're going to put in that backyard, they'll probably fill it in a little more. But they must have cut a drain from that backyard out and down the whole side of the house toward the front of the house, toward the street on the other side. And I think that's how they drained that backyard. And then when they got it drained, they filled it in. So I don't know how they did all that. I guess there's some kind of drain that's going to stay there. And if it gets overly wet back there, it just drains off maybe. I don't know. Have no idea, but I just saw them out there with a big backhoe digging a trench. And they must have laid pipes and stuff down in it and drained the backyard. There's Dark. He's back. We thought you left us, Dark. Yeah, it'll get better there, and then they'll probably buy a lot behind me, directly behind me, or one over here behind me, and it'll start all over again. It'll be an ongoing thing till they sell all the lots and there's homes built on all of them, I guess. I've been really wanting to buy this lot next to me just so nobody could buy it and build on it or cut the trees down. But I can't really afford it. I'd have to get a loan to get it. So I've got that going on in the back of my mind. I don't know yet. Yeah, hopefully it'll all get better. Yeah, I'd have to put up a fence, and I don't want one of those wooden privacy fences. I never liked those wooden privacy fences. And that's what everybody else has been putting up. They look good when they first go up because it's new wood, and then in time it turns gray, and then it rots, and then you got to replace it all. And I said, I'm not doing that. If I ever fence in my yard, especially my backyard, it's going to be something that you don't have to maintain later. You put it up once and forget it. Basically takes care of itself. Well, there's one over here beside me. There's one directly behind me. And there's one to the side of the one that's directly behind me over here. Because, I own the lot over here between me and the new brick home. I own that one. because I've got 3 lots. So there could be possibly 1, 2, 3, 3 more houses built on lots that are almost adjoining my lots. That's going to put dust in my yard for me to breathe. But you know, anytime they build on your block and push up dirt with those bulldozers and backhoes and everything, they're always stirring up the dust, and it goes forever throughout the community. It doesn't have to necessarily be right next door to you. It can just be on the same street you're on. There's MT. Hello, MT. How you doing this evening? Yeah, I don't really mind people building here, but I was so used to being here with no houses directly around me, you know. And even though I'm 5 minutes from any store, I feel like I'm in the country. And now it's not so much country anymore. They're pretty well popularizing this neighborhood. I have allergies, Kathy. And a lot of times I have to wear a mask outside so I don't get sick from the stuff that I breathe in the air, the pollen and the dust and all that. A lot of times I forget to put the mask on, or it's just so hot I don't want to wear a mask. But you notice I did wear a mask in the video where I painted the mailbox because I was spraying paint, and I can't breathe that paint. It will give me bronchitis if I breathe it because I'm allergic to that spray paint and stuff. You're doing all right for an older fat man. Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. Well, see, I've treated my own allergies for so many years, it's ridiculous. I started going to the doctor here, the allergy doctor, and I had already been taking allergy meds off the counter. I mean, I take 2 allergy meds every day off the counter. I've got a prescription nasal spray, and still I suffer with allergies. I'm coughing, I'm gagging, I'm sneezing. And like I said, if I go outside and I breathe too much of the dust and stuff, if the wind's blowing, it will give me bronchitis if I'm not careful. Just like breathing that spray paint. Like there was guys on my roof one year, and they were spray painting the exhaust pipe, or I guess that's what you call it, that comes from the furnace. They were spray painting that so it wouldn't rust, the silver color. And I was standing way out in the yard, and I didn't think I'd breathe any of it. But the wind was blowing just enough. It blew that spray over my way, and I breathed enough of it without even realizing I did, that by the next day I had bronchitis. I was sick from breathing it. And I had to double up on Benadryl for several days to get rid of it. It's almost like, too, some things give me like an allergy what am I trying to say? Almost like an asthma symptoms, but it's from allergies that I have. You're thinking about moving to New Mexico because thinking you got allergies that you haven't had before. Well, see, here in Texas, I'm allergic to everything. I knew I was allergic in North Carolina when I lived there. You know, to perfumes, to like in the spring when everything's blooming out with pollen and all that, I would get sick. I'd get bronchitis. I'd get over it. The end of the summer, in the fall, when the temperature changes and different things take place, I'd get bronchitis again. But other than that, I didn't take allergy meds or anything. I was fine during the day, normal living, didn't even pay attention to allergies. But I did realize when I was a teenager, I was allergic to perfumes and colognes. I can't wear most of them because I've tried some in stores, where they give you the testers. And this guy I dated so many years ago, it's ridiculous. He wanted to buy some, when Liz Taylor first came out with the White Diamonds perfume, he wanted to buy me some of it, and it's pretty expensive. And I told him, I said, no, don't do that. Because I said, I may not be able to use it because I'm allergic to most perfumes and colognes. And I said, the best thing to do is to let me go somewhere where they have testers, little tester bottles for that perfume, and let me try it and see if I have any side effects from it before you buy it. So he took me to the mall. I think, where was it? Ulan Mall, or one of the malls we went to that day. And there was, I don't know if it was a Neiman Marcus or what store it was, had White Diamonds, and they didn't have a tester. And I took it and just put a little bit right on my wrist right there. Didn't put it anywhere else, just right there. Because there I could wash it off good, if I started having a reaction. Didn't have anything right at first, but tried the tester, got in the car to leave the mall to come back home. And all of a sudden, my head started hurting. I was nauseated to the point I felt like I was going to throw up. I had to roll the window down, and he said, what's the matter? I said, this perfume is making me sick. I feel like I'm going to throw up, and my head is hurting really bad. So I said, I know now you can't buy that for me. I can't wear this. So he stopped somewhere. I don't remember if it was a gas station or what, and I went in the store, in the bathroom, in the ladies' bathroom, and tried to wash it off the best I could. I mean, I scrubbed my wrist with soap in that bathroom. But I was still sick even when I got home because it had got into my system, and it took a little bit for it to wear off my system. Just that little bit on your wrist did that. Yep, that's the reason I don't wear perfumes. You notice I don't wear makeup either. I wear very little makeup, and not very often, because I'm allergic to all of it. I don't usually like to wear mascara because most of the mascara burns my eyes. I'm allergic to it. Even the ones that they tell you are for people with allergies, most of the time that even bothers me, so I don't wear it. If I come across some that I can wear and I don't have a reaction, I will wear it sometimes, but usually I can't find any. And I found that there's only like CoverGirl liquid makeup I can wear, because if I get the allergenic kind for people with allergies, I can wear that. And it has sunscreen in it. And I can wear some of their like foundation powders. But I hardly ever wear it because I'm out in the garden working all the time, especially in the summer, and I'm perspiring, I'm sweating. I mean, the sweat's dripping off of me, and I can't wear makeup like that. And if I had mascara or anything on my eyes, it would be in my eyes, so I don't wear it. Yeah, and like I said, every time I'd go to the doctor for allergies, they didn't think my allergies were that bad because I was taking medication on my own off the counter. And I did go into the doctor several times when I started getting bronchitis from my allergies, and I couldn't breathe because I start getting allergic reaction to stuff, and it gives me bronchitis, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. I'm having a hard time getting air. And I'll go in and they will give me a shot like that, and it'll clear it up, and then I can breathe and I'm fine. But I haven't had one of those shots in several years now. Well, thank you, Kathy, for that compliment. Well, I think, I don't really like a lot of makeup anyway. I've never was one, even if I could find makeup that I could wear. I've never been one that wears a lot of makeup. I don't like wearing makeup. When I first started trying to wear makeup, I felt like I looked like a clown because it didn't look right on me, or maybe I didn't put it on right. I don't know. And these women today, oh my God, I've watched these videos where they put this concealer on their eyes and then they put something else on their eyes, and then they put a foundation on. They moisturize, and then they put a foundation on, and then they put something else on, and then they put a powder on, and then they put blush on, and then they put all this stuff on their eyes. I mean, layer after layer after layer. Yeah, it looks like you could shovel it off their face. They've got so much junk on their face. I don't like that. I never have liked that. To me, that's like Tammy Faye Baker. You know, I'm not one that wants to go to bed and leave my face on the pillow at night. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of her, but, you know, that's what they always said about her. I just, you know, in fact, even if I wore a little bit of makeup, my makeup comes off before I go to bed. I don't usually go to bed with makeup on my face. But I hardly ever have makeup on, so I don't have to worry about it. I mean, with me, what you see is what you get. I can't help it. I'm me. Just like my videos, what you see is the real thing. It's not put on. Yeah, makeup messes with your skin. I know there was at one time, my daughter just swore by this, I think it's Clinique makeup. It was supposed to be the best in the world for your skin. And she talked me into trying some of it. It bugged me to death. It itched my face so bad I couldn't wear it. I don't know what was in that makeup, but it gave me the mad itch on my face. If you could imagine that. I had to wash it off, and I never put it back on ever again. Now I wear stuff like cold cream. You know, I'll wash, shower, dry off, and I'll put Pond's cold cream or something like that on my face for moisturizer. Because, you know, the air is dry here in Texas, and it does dry your skin out. So I do put that on after I shower or something, but that's not makeup. It's just a moisturizer. It's like putting hand lotion on. Yeah, and you know, too, I found out, why would anybody want to put all that stuff on their face? If they found out, if they investigated on the products and found out what all that stuff was made of, they never would want to wear any of it. Because they say all of the lipsticks and the eye makeups and the foundations and stuff like that, it's made out of all different kind of bugs. I don't want to put all that on my face. I'm sorry. And there's Jana. Hey, stranger. How's Jana doing tonight? Yeah, it's real good to moisturize your face and skin, even if it's nothing but like a skin lotion, a hand lotion. But I've used Pond's cold cream for a moisturizer on my face ever since I was, I guess, 11 or 12 years old. That's the only thing I moisturize with is Pond's cold cream. We're having a beauty chat tonight. Yeah, the doctor gave me a inhaler one time. Is that what you call them, inhalers? For my allergy, for when it really bothered my chest. Because I'd start getting raw in my chest and my throat, and I'd be coughing a lot. And he gave me this inhaler for that. And first time I tried it, it burnt so bad. I was holding my throat and my chest like this, and I couldn't breathe. It burnt so bad. And it scared me. I didn't know it would do that. And I wouldn't use it again. And I told him what happened when I went in the next time I had to go to the doctor. And he said, well, how's your inhaler doing? I said, I don't use it. He said, why not? I said, well, my chest got bad in my throat and I was coughing a lot. I tried using it one day. And I said, it burnt so bad I couldn't handle it. I mean, I was like holding my throat and chest because I was burning so bad. So it scared me and I quit using it. And a friend of mine that uses an inhaler told me later after that, she said, oh, well, sometimes it will burn because that's how bad you need it. That's how raw and irritated your throat and your chest is. And that's how bad you needed the inhaler. Well, I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. The instructions didn't mention that either. Jana's been busy at work, and when I got home, I start my second job, and that's cleaning. Oh, wow, you're a busy bee, huh? Beauty talks. Yeah, beauty talk is chase the boys away, huh? Well, maybe they'll come in. Maybe we need to get on a fishing topic or automotive, fixing your engines and stuff like that. There's MT. He didn't leave us. He said we were watching you make a cake the other day and you used your hand mixer. I loved it. Those older mixers would last forever. My mom used the same GE mixer for years and years. Well, I still use the hand mixer because I can use it with smaller bowls, because the new mixer I got for Christmas is, as much as I love it, it's got a big bowl, and then it's got a little dent down in the bottom about that deep that I don't think the beaters get down into. They don't go into that. And if you got just a little bit of stuff, it don't mix it up good. So if got a little bit, then I use the hand mixer, and you put it in a little bowl that doesn't have one of them little sections in the very bottom of it. I don't remember what I was mixing. Was it cream cheese and something I was mixing that day? I think a half of a block of cream cheese or something. I know it was not much of anything that I was mixing, and that's why I used the little mixer. It will make you cough more, but it is more effective cough. Yeah, my allergies calm down somewhat on these rainy days because it settles all the dust and the pollen down out of the air. It more or less washes the air out until the mold sets in. You know, after every rain, you end up with mold growing in the yard, and I'm allergic to the mold. So I get a break in between. I get a break right after it stops raining until the mold comes up, and then I get hit with the mold. I'm allergic to all the trees, the grass, you name it, I'm allergic to it. Thank goodness I'm just not so allergic to the grass and trees that if I walk across the grass, you know, it's not going to bother me that much. And it's not going to make me running because I can't breathe or nothing. But I've seen girls when I was working at the school, substitute teaching, where one girl, she just come out of the school and tried to walk across a patch of grass to get to the ball field. And she dropped to her feet on the ground because she couldn't breathe. It just flattened her, and she could not get up. I made two girls go get her. I said, you go get her and pick her up if you have to, and you take her to the nurse's office. And they did. They went there. Both of them got on each side of her, and they picked her up by her arms, and they walked her into the nurse's office. And I didn't know she had allergies. I didn't know why she was standing at the building. And I told her, I said, come on and join the rest, you know. And like I said, I didn't know her allergies were that bad. And she started out, and as soon as she got like a foot over in the grass, she just dropped to the ground. And it terrified me because I told her to come out there. And some of the girls said, oh, she's got allergies. She don't need to be in the grass. I said, well, you two go, because you two are big girls. I said, you go get her and you pick her up. I said, you take her to the nurse's office right now. And they did. And I told them, I said, you tell her I'm sorry that I didn't know she had allergies to the grass. Because I felt bad, you know, after that. Because, you know, some kids will tell you anything just to get out of doing stuff, you know. Some of them that don't want to participate in PE class or something, they'll tell you they got a health problem or something's going on just to get out of it. But I just didn't know why she was standing at the door of the school and not coming on out. And I guess she was going to come out so she wouldn't get in trouble. and she just fell to the ground because she couldn't breathe anymore. And I just felt really bad like that, I'll tell you. But she's okay. And I feel fortunate. I was substituted for basketball classes, in the gym for some of the coaches a lot of times. I mean, I subbed for everything. And I was in, I think, the middle school, or was it I think a middle school, because it was like fifth or sixth graders that we were in the gym. And one of the girls, I don't know, in running down the court, she bumped into somebody. But anyway, somehow she fell to the floor and she twisted her ankle, and she couldn't get up. And I went over there to check on her. I said, well, no, don't get up. If it hurts that bad, you don't need to move. Just stay where you are. I'm going to get somebody to come get you. So I sent two girls to go get a wheelchair, because I had wheelchairs in the nurse's office. I said, go get a wheelchair and bring it out here, and let's get her in it and get her to the nurse's office. And I'm so glad I did, because she told me after that, the next time she was at school, she had a cast on her leg and her ankle. And she said she didn't have a bad break, but it was cracked. It was cracked bad enough that they put a cast on it. And they said if she'd have got up and started walking or trying to, and put her body weight on her leg, that it probably would have broken too and made it twice as bad. So she thanked me for that. I mean, I got her even out to her car when her dad come to pick her up. And he said, well, what do I do? What do I do? I said, take her to the emergency room. Because I said, we don't know if she's got a broken leg or not, or broken ankle. So he did, and that's what they found out. It was a bad crack. I got to find some cough drops. Because I am talking so much, my throat's getting dry. And it's going to make me cough. Well, some of the girls evidently that were in her class knew she had allergies. And after she fell or dropped to the ground, they told me it must be her allergies. She's allergic to the grass and stuff. I said, oh my God, no. I said, you go get her right now. Hurry. Go get her out of the grass, take her to the nurse's office and make sure she's okay. And they did, and she was fine. She just didn't need to be anywhere near the grass. But yeah, getting back to the time when I went to the doctor for my allergies, I even went to an allergy doctor. The first time I ever went to his office, I showed no allergy symptoms whatsoever, because I was on allergy medication that had been taken. It had been raining for several days. It was still sprinkling rain when I walked in his office. And he said, you don't look like you've got allergies. King of Kings, thank you so much for that super chat. Bless your heart. Thank you. But he said, you don't look like you've got allergies. I said, I do. It's raining outside. It's got everything settled down for the most part. But they did that testing on me where they put all those needles in your back and they test you for everything, and then you wait a day or so and then you go back for them to check. Guess what? When he checked my back, he said, you're right. You got allergies. You're allergic to every single thing that I tested you for. And he said, there's no telling how much more you're allergic to. But even at that point, they wouldn't put me on shots. They still just gave me the shot when I got so bad I couldn't breathe or would get bronchitis from the allergies. And then they'd give me a shot to clear it up. And there's Amanda Mullins. Hello, Amanda from Tennessee. King of Kings, I don't remember seeing you in here before. You must be a new subscriber. Don't recognize it. Yeah, I guess it's a steroid shot. I don't know. But, you know, a person don't really need to be on steroids constantly all the time. And I guess that's one reason they didn't put me on them. Because the allergy doctor that I went to here didn't mention it. And then later he sent me to an allergy doctor in Fort Worth. And he said, well, he said, if you were younger, I'd put you on a regular routine of allergy shots. But he said, you've made it this far. He said, I'm not going to be the one to put you on allergy shots. And he didn't. And I'll probably be glad of it in the end, you know. It's been raining for a week. It's been raining off and on here for several days, off and on. It'll clear up for a day and then it'll rain. It'll clear up for 2 days and then we'll get more rain, which is good though, because we get enough rain that it keeps the grass alive. It keeps the garden growing. It cools the temperatures off. Where Kathy is too, huh? Well, this is Texas rainy season is what I call it. And we have to enjoy the rain while we get it, because when it stops, it stops. And you're not going to see much rain till the fall. Well, it's hot weather here, so it doesn't make my bones hurt or anything. If it was cold weather, it would probably make my arthritis act up, but I'm fine. Been fine this week. It makes it swampy feeling here. That's the way it does back home in North Carolina, but that is swampland back there. You know, it's lowlands. It stays wet, so it's always humid, real humid. Yeah, I always love to see new people coming into my chat, as long as it's not the trolls coming in. And I don't remember if I've seen King of Kings before. I probably have, and I just don't remember it. Because I know if you're on a regular routine of like every day or every week of steroid shots, it's not good. It can destroy your liver. I think that's why some of these people end up having liver transplants, is because they have been on steroid shots for so many years for their allergies that it just killed their liver. And I don't want that to happen to me. I mean, I may end up with a bad liver one day, but it's not going to be from steroid shots. It's bad for people with diabetes too. Well, I don't have diabetes, so I wouldn't know about all that, but I know, all those types of medications and stuff is not good. Not if you're on them constantly. And I know I take these off the counter allergy medicines because I have to. Because if I get down sick with allergies, I can't drive. I'm afraid to drive because can't think straight. I left the school one time because I was out on the ball field. It was their last week of school, and they were having a field day, as they call it, where they had all kind of events going on the grounds. So I was out there most of the day with the kids, and by the end of the day, I was having trouble breathing. I couldn't think straight, and it's all allergic reaction. I know that's what it is because it happens to me every time. I don't think straight. I'll have a problem with my breathing. I can tell, that something's affecting my throat and my chest. And I know I need to get to the doctor because I need a shot. So as soon as school let out, I left, got in my car, and I drove straight to a clinic that I knew was open all the time, and you didn't have to have an appointment to get in. And to show you how I couldn't think straight, I got out of the car, slammed the door shut, and went in and locked my keys up in the car, y'all. And then I went in and I was not thinking straight, and I didn't remember that I had the insurance on my car that covers wrecker service, or covers getting somebody out there to get my keys to open the door. I didn't think about that. And I was asking them, I said, well, do y'all know a wrecker I can call, or somebody that can come get my keys out? And, I was just going crazy. And they finally got me in, got me my shot. And just that fast, it all cleared up. I could think straight. And I started laughing, and I looked at the girl at the reception desk, and I said, I said, I was crazy with allergies. I said, as soon as it started clearing up from that shot, I said, I immediately remembered I've got road protection on my insurance. All I got to do is call my insurance company, and they will send a wrecker out here, and he will open my car door, and it's not going to cost me anything. And that's what I did. But it just shows you. And I told my doctors, I said, when I get that kind of a reaction to allergies to where I can't think straight and I can barely breathe good, I said, I'm not driving an hour to get to an allergy doctor. I will wreck my car before I get there, and I'll never make it. And I'm just so happened that my primary care doctor's here in Granbury, so it doesn't take me that long to get to his office. And he was usually the one that if I got real sick with bronchitis and I didn't feel like I could drive very far, I would get in the car and I'd go to his office and they'd give me a shot. And I wouldn't have to have an appointment. But now they won't do that. You got to have an appointment to get in to get the shot. It don't matter how sick you are. And if they tell you if you're that sick, go to the emergency room. Well, I never really wanted to go to the emergency room to get an allergy shot, so I just toughed it out, doubled up on Benadryl, took flu medicines, all kind of stuff to clear it up on my own. I use Prel, but it's not the regular Prel. I'll get it. I've showed it before because other people have asked. Oh. First of all, I grew up using Prel when I lived at home when I was a kid, because my mom had allergies and she used Prel. But I never realized that's why she used the Prel, is because of her allergies. Well, then it was just that green Prel, which was a good shampoo, but it never did have a conditioner with it. But now Prel has advanced, and they've come up with all different kinds of the Prel product. And this is the ones I use, the Prel shampoo and the conditioner. And it's the only thing I found that I can use because there's no perfume in it. There is nothing in that I'm allergic to, so it doesn't cause me a problem when I use this shampoo and conditioner. Now, the conditioner doesn't work as good, I think, as some of the other conditioners do. I guess because they don't put a lot of stuff in it like they do the other ones. But if they did, then I probably couldn't use it because I'd be allergic to it. But yeah. And I told my granddaughter about it too because she's got allergies. And I think she bought some of it and she started using this too. And you can't, I get it at Walmart, but I can't find it in the store. They don't stock it in the store. I have to order it online. And if you ever want to order any of it, you can go to Walmart's website and put in Prel conditioner or shampoo and conditioner, it'll bring up the original green Prel, the green color, and then it'll start bringing up all these other different kinds. But yeah, this is the only one that I found that I can shampoo and put conditioner on my hair that I'm not allergic to. Drop a pearl in the bottle. Why would you drop a pearl in the bottle, Uncle BB? Yeah, they've got all the different ones of the Prel now. This is hyaluronic biotin is what they call it. It moisturizes and strengthens your hair. That shampoo, the conditioner, and the shampoo is the same way. It moisturizes and strengthens your hair, or supposed to. But they've got a lot of different ones. They've got some for oily hair, some for dry hair, all color treated hair. They got all kinds of the Prel now that they didn't used to have years ago. And it's almost time for me to reorder because I'm almost out of the conditioner. I only got about a spoonful left in there. Well, a lot of times you can buy Prel, but it's the original Prel, the one that's green in the clear bottle. Now, for a while, Walmart had that one, the Prel, but it was the green one. It wasn't any of these new additions that they put to Prel. Oh, the Pearl was an old commercial. I don't remember that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind using the green Prel, the old one, the original one, if I could find a conditioner that would go with it that I could use. Because they never put all those perfumes and stuff in Prel. So people that had allergies to that perfume and stuff could use Prel shampoo when they couldn't use anything else. Your Walmart has it? Well, I've looked time and time here in this Walmart, and they do not have these. They had one time the original Prel, the green one, but they didn't have these or any of the other ones that are like this. So I went online and I said, they got to have it somewhere. And I asked one of the clerks, and she looked it up in her little handheld thing, and she said, yeah, we do have it, but we don't stock it in the store. So I came home and looked it up online, and sure enough, oh my God, there was a lot of different Prel products for shampoo and conditioner. You just have to pick out the one that's best for your hair. Yeah, these are unbreakable. They're in a lot of unbreakable bottles. Even the green one that I bought years ago, they finally had put that in a plastic bottle, I think, a clear one. You ordered it? Janice said, she says, I'll go back to Florida and see which ones I saw. Yeah, that green one was real thick. And this is too, but it's not green. It's almost like a milky color. You can see it in there. It's about empty, like I said. Yeah, it seemed like now I do remember how they showed dropping the pearl in the Prel shampoo and how long it took for it to gradually sink to the bottom. And that was just proving how thick the shampoo was. I never used it in the tube, but there was a bottle about that tall that my mom used to get, and it was maybe that big around. And it was the green Prel, the original Prel. And that's all we ever used. We never even used a conditioner. And once in a while, my mom would have me rinse my hair in vinegar. I never could understand why she wanted me to rinse my hair in vinegar. But I found out later on that it helps condition your hair too. And it will lighten your hair to put vinegar in it when you rinse it. Uncle BB said, now you're getting it. Yeah. I don't use any more conditioner than I normally would for any other conditioner product. And I use so much little of the shampoo that this bottle has lasted forever. I've had it for, I don't even know when. I know I've had this for a couple of months. And I pretty much wash my hair about every day or every other day in this hot weather, because I sweat so bad. Oh, honey, my hair is not thick at all from what it used to be. My hair is thinned out from what it used to be. Because when I went through that cancer scare and they put me through chemo, I lost every hair on my head, y'all. My head was just as slick as a baby's bottom. And when my hair came back in, only half of my hair came back. The hair I've got now is the real fine, fuzzy hair that came back in. The thick, really strong hair didn't come back in at all. So my hair is real thin now compared to what it used to be. And that was thanks to chemo. I said, I am so glad that I had such thick hair to begin with. Because if my hair had been thin to start with, I wouldn't have any hair right now. Yeah, and I went through all that. Surgeries, chemo, knocked out my immune system. I couldn't go anywhere. I was thin. And I didn't want to gain thin. And I didn't want to gain weight, but they made me do it. They put something in that IV with the chemo and stuff that made me gain weight. And I've never been able to lose it all. And just to find out, what was it, 5 or 6 weeks after my surgery, my surgeon told me that I never had cancer. She said, I don't know what the surgeon saw that did the biopsy, but she said, you did not have cancer. You've never had cancer. There was none there. And I went through all that. They ruined my hair. They made me gain weight when I didn't have to do all that. I should have sued them, but I was not in a frame of mind to do that back then. Yeah, they have insurance against that, and I should have sued. All of my friends, everybody told me, well, you should have sued them. You'd have got a bunch of money out of it. I said I should have, but I didn't realize it was going to affect me the rest of my life, because all my hair never did come back. I can't lose the weight. I've never looked the same because I've never been this heavy. I mean, this is heavy for me, y'all. I'm 5'2". I've always been a real tiny person. My daughter used to tease me when she was like 13, 14 years old. She was taller than me. And I'm this little skinny thing walking beside my daughter. And she said, Mom, you look like an 11-year-old boy. And I asked her one time, I said, why? Why are you saying that? Because you have no boobs and you have no butt. I look taller on camera. Well, I'm 5'2". I might make 5'2.5". I don't know. I may not even make 5'2" anymore. I haven't measured my height in years and years. Oh, you wouldn't believe, Tamara. They diagnosed me with, what was it? Invasive ductal carcinoma. They gave me 3 years to live. My son went crazy. He didn't know what to do. He thought he was losing his mom. And I guess I was in a state of shock because it's like I had no feelings about it. And then to find out after it's all over with, 5 weeks after surgery, you go in for your checkup and your surgeon tells you you never have cancer, you never had it. Or if you did, it's not there now, it's gone. Because she said the pathologist, when he tested the tissue that they removed for the biopsy and after surgery, she said there was no cancer cells whatsoever anywhere. Linda Hauser's in the house. But I thank God, I bless that surgeon. Dr. Chow was her name. Best surgeon anybody could ever have. My daughter said, Mom, she's the best surgeon you could possibly ever have. Yes, Tamara, breast cancer. And it wasn't. I never had it. They didn't have to do that surgery on me. They did not have to give me chemo. And even after that, they insisted on wanting to give me radiation, and I refused. They wanted to put me through another whole year of preventative chemo, and I refused it. And I told my cancer doctor, when she wanted to do all that, I said, let me ask you something. She says, what? I said, do you want to go through radiation and a year of preventative chemo for cancer? She says, no, I don't have cancer. And I said, nor do I. And I don't go up there anymore. I just stopped going. She said, well, we don't know. I said, well, I know what my surgeon told me. So that was enough for me. And it's been, what was the year I had surgery? 96, I think. For that, and I was going through chemo and all that. I think it was 96 that took place. And I'm still here. They gave me 3 years, and I'm still here, and I have no cancer. So either God cured me or it was never there. You tell me what. I don't know. But I'm happy it's not. So they say God works in mysterious ways, so maybe he did, or maybe I never had the cancer at all. I don't think I did. I did have a lump in my breast, but I told them the whole time it was a fibrocystic cyst. They didn't believe me. And that's all it was. That's all that the surgeon said the pathologist could find was fibrocystic cyst tissue, a very small amount of it, and that was it. Yeah, that's what a lot of people said. They would have sued the pants off of them and lived off that money for the rest of my life, but I didn't. I was not in, I guess, a state of mind at that point to go to court to sue them. I didn't know who to get for an attorney. I was here myself, I was all alone. My kids didn't live with me even then. They were still, they were married. They lived out in other towns. But they came and went with me several times to the cancer center when I had to go, that kind of thing. They were around when I had the surgery. So they were there for me, but it's just the fact that I never had cancer. There was no cancer there. I was misdiagnosed 100%. I mean, how do you think it would make you feel if you went in after someone did a biopsy on a part of your body and told you that you had 3 years to live? But yeah, that was back in 96, 97, going into 97. And I'm still here, and this is 2025. Yep, God is good all the time. And I said, maybe there was some reason that God put me through that. I don't know. I don't know what it could have been, why that he would see fit to put me through an experience like that. I don't know. And sometimes they say things you don't understand, don't question, because in time you might understand why you went through that. particular situation or that experience. So, I don't know. I'm good. That's all that matters. I'm here to aggravate everybody. I told my son I'm too ornery to die. I'm going to stick around and aggravate everybody. Yeah, I just wished I had not lost all my hair because only half of it came back. That's why it's as thin as it is. I mean, it's still got hair, but it's thin. It's not like it was. You know these hair clips that most people can, they're not the ponytail clips. They're the hard clips that will actually clip together. I could never get one of those around my hair. Like if I pulled it back in a ponytail, I had so much hair, I could only get half of it in one of those clips. Guess what? Now I can pull my hair back in a ponytail and I can put one of those hard clips in it and clip it. And all my hair is in that clip. So that's the reason I say I've got half the hair now that I used to have. It was so thick I used to fuss about it, but I wish now it was back thick like that. I wouldn't fuss about it anymore. And there's Roger Chambers, the real Roger. Welcome, Roger. I noticed you've been in here for a while and I just didn't give you any recognition. MT said, me too, I'm good at aggravating. Yeah, I'm too hungry to die. I got to stick around and aggravate everybody to death. That's what I say. I'm alive. But you know, that's what my cancer doctor said. And at the time, I didn't like what she said. Because I lost my hair. I gained a ton of weight. I didn't look like myself. Scared my kids to death. And then my doctor said, well, she said, at least you're alive. She said, you gained weight. You don't have hair right now, but you should get your hair back. But you're alive. Yeah, well, okay. Thank God for small favors. But I just felt like it was unnecessary. I didn't have to go through all that. Yeah, that chemo will do a trick on you. And then I don't remember the kind of chemo it was before the surgery. But the cancer doctor said that the chemo should shrink the growth. Well, it didn't. It didn't phase it at all. That's why it wasn't cancer. Because they were treating me for cancer and I didn't have cancer. I did have a lump, but it didn't phase it at all. It was a cyst. And then, like I was going to say, after the chemo and everything, after surgery, they wanted to put me on what they call the Red Devil. That is a really strong chemo. From what I understand, it's the strongest you can possibly get. And what the regular chemo doesn't do, that Red Devil will do to you. I took one round of that after all was said and done. And thank God I had a drive home. You know, I had a driver that picked me up and took me home. But the minute I got to my door, I started feeling dizzy. And I felt like my heart stopped. And I had a recliner just right inside the front door. I opened the door and I just kind of like turned around and fell in that recliner. Because I was that close to passing out. I almost passed out. Everything blacked out. But I was still like awake, aware. And after a few seconds, it kind of passed and I was okay. And I told the doctor about that when I went back in for a checkup after that. And they said, well, we're going to send you to a heart doctor. We want you to have a heart echo done and different things. So I went. Well, I knew I had a heart murmur. I've had a heart murmur ever since I was born, but I've led a normal life just like anybody else. And they did the heart echo and all that. They said, well, you do have a heart murmur. And they said, well, we're going to tell you one thing. With your heart murmur and the way things are, if you go through any more chemo, or at least another year of chemo, you're going to be back in here for heart surgery. Because what the chemo does is eats up your skin tissues. And it's going to make that murmur twice as bad. You're going to end up with heart valve transplants or heart valve surgery. And he said, I would not advise it. With the fact that the surgeon told me I didn't have cancer, I did not need chemo, I did not need any more, I didn't need radiation, I didn't need any more chemo. And what the heart doctor said, I refused to go back. I said, no, I'm not doing this. And I told my doctor that in the cancer center. I said, you want to take a year's preventative chemo? Do you want to go through radiation? She said, no, I don't have cancer. I said, well, I don't either, and I'm not going to take it. And I don't. I didn't go back. I don't take any more of it. They kept calling me, telling me, you need to get in here. You need to get measured for radiation, and you need to get back in here and get your chemo. You didn't show up today. And at first I'd answer the phone and I'd say, well, yeah, I didn't show up and I'm not going to. Don't set appointments for me anymore because I'm not going to be there. And I'd hang up. They kept calling. They did that for weeks. And finally, I just ignored them. I didn't even answer the phone anymore. So finally, they quit calling. They finally got the message, y'all. Right long enough, I came in late on the cancer subject. Yeah, they diagnosed me with breast cancer. I went in and I had chemo and surgery, and then they wanted to do another whole year of chemo and radiation, just to find out when I went in for my 5-week checkup with my surgeon that I didn't have cancer. I never had cancer. And my surgeon told me, you do not need chemo. You do not need radiation. You do not need any of that. You don't have cancer. So I took her word for it. I mean, I'm not going. I told him in the beginning I didn't have cancer. It was a fibrocystic cyst. And it was a cyst. It was not cancer. But, you know, after surgery, what are you going to do? They could have done a different type of surgery than what they did, but I can't undo any of that now, so just have to live with it. MT said, that's how I found my wife. How did you find your wife? Now, I missed some of that. I don't know what's going on with. How did you find your wife, MT? Just be thankful, yeah. Well, I've seen videos where most people, when they start chemo, like the first day, they'll just go in and shave their head off. And I didn't want to lose my hair, y'all. I said, no, I can't lose my hair. I won't be me without my hair. And so I refused to shave my head off. And all of a sudden, days later, I was in the shower, and all of a sudden, clumps of my hair started falling to the tub. I said, oh my God, my hair's falling out. So when I got out of the tub and I got all of the hair that had fallen out off of my head and got it in the trash and got my hair, what was left, towel dried enough, I took the scissors and just cut it off just as short as I could get it. So from then on, when I got in the shower, it was just little bitty short pieces of hair that fell out, not big long strands like this that was falling out in clumps. I mean, it was almost scary, but it happened. So I advise anybody that if you start chemo like that, go ahead and cut your hair off, because it's going to come out. There's no way to stop it. And then I did wear wigs for a little bit. The cancer center gave me a wig, a real human hair wig, but it was one of these auburn colored, like a deep red, and I didn't like red. But I'd wear it sometimes and people say, oh, you look so good. Oh my God, you look so good. And they didn't realize it. They didn't believe it was a wig. Oh, I got to plug my phone in. I know that blinking is because of a low battery. Maybe that'll help. Hopefully. Make sure my charger's plugged in good. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. Is your picture messing up, anybody? Mine is like flashing like I'm in Poltergeist or something. Looks like Poltergeist got in. That's what I said. It looks like the Poltergeist movie. Everything's flashing. All different color lights. And I've got it plugged in. And you know, the last time I went live, it did that when the battery was about dead. And I plugged it in and it said my battery's at 55%. So I don't know why it's doing that. It's wild. Because I've still got half battery. I don't know why it would do that. And why it's not stopping when I plugged it in. Huh. That's crazy. Maybe it'll stop in a minute. If it doesn't, we'll just go ahead and end the live because we've been on here for 2 hours. No, it's not warm at all. My phone doesn't usually heat up. I mean, that's what I'm filming on, is the camera on my phone. Linda's disco party. I just need the strobe lights up here. Disco Thursday. That is weird. I don't know why it's doing it. That's crazy. And I don't know what to do to fix it. I'm afraid to push anything or touch anything because I may make it worse. But you say you still can hear me? I guess you can hear me and see the disco flashing. That's so crazy. You can still hear me. This is crazy, y'all. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Hey, Judy. Welcome to the disco party. How many lives have you ever been in that turned into a disco party, y'all? I'm one of a kind. I have disco parties in my life. Now all I need is that Saturday Night Fever music. You met on Facebook in a group called SO30, Singles Over 30. Oh, Singles Over 30. It was a Christian singles group for folks over 30. She was the most positive, encouraging, not to mention the prudest gal. Well, I'm glad you met her. No, there's no storm going on. That's what I don't understand. And when it did it the last time, it was because the battery was almost dead, and I plugged in the charger and it stopped. But I plugged in the charger just now and it showed that it had 55% on the battery and it's still doing it. If I turn it off and on, I'll end the live, Tamara. If I turn my phone, is that what you're saying? Turn the phone off, turn it off, and then turn it back on? I'm afraid that will end the live, which I probably should end it anyway. Bummer. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't really know. Let me try plugging it in again. It charged 2% more. It showed 56% this time. So I don't know. I've been wanting to do something with my teeth. I hate my bottom teeth because they're so crooked. I mean, I've got gold caps and all kind of stuff in my mouth, but I never like my bottom teeth because they are crooked. They're not rotten or anything, but they're crooked. They've been that way my whole life. And I've been seeing some of these commercials, where they show these, what do you call them? They're like dentures, but they're not dentures. They're just like clip-on things that go over your teeth, and they look like you've got pretty white teeth. Man, I wish mine would look like that. Oh, there's Life with Pippintine. Hey, Life with Pippintine. MT was telling us all about how y'all met. I'm glad he met me too. You make a good couple. Pippintine decided to join our disco party. And there's Vegan Menu. I'm put my camera's possessed, y'all. I don't know what to do to make it quit flashing. It's possessed. It's got a demon. We're in poltergeist or something here. Is it veneers? But they say you put them in hot water and it softens the plastic or whatever it's made out of, and you put them on and it molds to your teeth that you already have, and you can wear them all day. You can eat in them and everything, and they look real, but they're pretty and white. My teeth have never been pretty and white. And I questioned the dentist about it because I can go in and have my teeth cleaned and they still have that yellow look. And he said, well, healthy teeth have a yellow look to them. It's just the way your teeth are. He said, if your teeth are pearly white, you don't have healthy teeth. Because he said a real healthy tooth is not white. And that's the reason I say I see a lot of people with perfectly even, brilliantly white teeth. And I say they've got to be fake. They can't be real. I don't know. That's what happened. Anthony's hiding out because he brought that ghost into my live. And now he's in my camera. You have a blessed night too, Kathy. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I'm going to have to get on Anthony for that. He's put that ghost in my camera, and look what that ghost is doing. Well, I'm not going to keep y'all on here anymore because I don't know how to stop it from doing this. So I'm going to give y'all a good night. Thank you, everybody, for coming into the live. I saw those sounds cool. My bottom teeth are slightly crooked. I'd like to try them. They've got a sale on them, like 70% off. I think you can get the top and bottom, 2 sets of them actually for like $36. But I said that's almost too good to be true. They normally would sell for like $600. I don't know how good they would be. I don't know if I want to order them and try them or not. Because then when you get used to seeing those nice, pretty white teeth and even teeth, you're not ever going to want to take them out. And I said I've thought about having those implants put in But then you got to go have your own teeth pulled out. And I don't really want to have all my teeth pulled out to put those in, but I love the look of nicer looking teeth. Yeah, that's what I say. They're not bothering me. They're not giving me any problems. I said I'll just put up with crooked teeth until they start bothering me, and then I'll have them yanked out and replaced somehow. I don't know. Well, thank you, MT. Tamara said she might check them out. Well, I was thinking about ordering because they do, I think they gave you a money back guarantee. I think. I said I could order them, try them. If I didn't like them, send them back and tell them to give me a refund, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we've been on here for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think I'm going to call it a night. And like I said, whoa, it's stopping now. Look at there. Just when I was going to end my live, all of a sudden the ghost left my camera and it's not flashing anymore. Go figure that, y'all. Have we got Anthony's ghost in my lives now? Is that why he's not coming in? He left his ghost here? Yeah, it's weird. And I haven't touched the phone except plug the cord in to charge the battery. That's crazy. MT was a dental lab technician for years. Well, they probably didn't have those when he was a lab technician, but I'd be interested to talk to somebody that maybe used them or tried them out and see how they are. Because, you know, they'll tell you anything in these commercials and they'll make things look so good that everybody just wants to turn around and buy them. And then when you get them, they're not worth crap. That's what I'm afraid of. And I ordered presents for my brother and my son. And I ordered them in figuring I would get them in time for their birthdays this week. They still have not come. And I checked on the tracking. I had no idea these things were coming from Ireland. And when I checked today, they're still in Ireland. They're moving around Ireland, but they're still in Ireland. Y'all, I don't know when they'll ever get to the States. So I texted my son and I said, and my brother, I said, I don't know when your birthday presents are getting here. They're still in Ireland. And if I'd have known they were having to come from Ireland, I never would have ordered them. I would have tried to find them somewhere else. Something was happening with the camera. It healed itself. Sometimes it could, that I think. I don't know. I'm thinking Anthony just brought his ghost and left him in our lives one time when he was here. So his ghost has been in my camera the last couple of times I've went live. I don't know. But it's crazy that all of a sudden when I'm talking about ending the live, it clears up. It just stops. MT said, you're right, they aren't worth crap. Have you had an experience with those? Have you actually seen the real teeth? And there's Linda Foster. Hello, Linda. Welcome to chat. We almost missed you because I almost ended my live a few minutes ago. We had a disco party going on with flashing lights in my camera. It finally stopped. That's what I was afraid of. I said I'd be afraid if I started singing in a live, you know, that my teeth would come out. Or I'd be eating, you know, be out somewhere eating and all of a sudden my tooth would come out, my teeth would come out. I couldn't handle that. I guess I'll just have to put up with what God gave me until I can do better, until they decide they want to come out, and maybe I can replace them with something that looks better. I'm cracking you up, Tamara. Tamara. I watched some videos where that actually happened to some people. This older lady that had a set of dentures, the real dentures, not just the little cover up things. Um, I don't remember what she was doing in the video, but she started laughing and her teeth popped out, both the top and the bottom. It was the funniest sight you've ever seen. I said, yeah, that would be something that would happen to me. Oh, you saw that when you first got here. Okay, so you know about the flashing lights that was going on. We were possessed. We had poltergeist going on. Yeah, I remember those wax vampire teeth. Well, I said I'd want the implants because I don't want to wear dentures ever if I ever lose my real teeth. I don't ever want to have to wear dentures. I don't like dentures. I don't like seeing people with dentures. And I've heard people talk that had the real implants, that they love them and they're so glad they got them. For some reason, you can't see the chat. Well, I see the chat fine on my laptop here. That's what I'm reading it off of. And I see it on my camera too over there. So it must be your reception, or maybe you've got your chat turned off. You know, you can turn your chat on and off. You can minimize it or you can enlarge it to where you can read it on the screen. So maybe yours is turned off or it's turned down. I didn't even intend to be on a live this long, but I've been having so much fun with all of you. And then we got my camera possessed with flashing lights. So, and my dad, he tickled me to death. He always worked as a construction worker after he got out of the Navy because he got out early. So he went to work in construction because he loves doing woodwork. He was helping build the Wachovia Bank in Wilmington, North Carolina. And this was just when, I don't know, I might not even been a teenager yet. It's been so long ago. But it's when he first, or he didn't realize it, but it was when his first symptoms of epilepsy occurred. And he had a seizure. He was up on a scaffold that was 2 or 3 stories high with a drill, electric drill in his hand, doing some kind of work on the building. And he had that seizure. He fell off the scaffold. When he fell on the ground, the drill went in his chest. And that's when they started doing tons and tons of tests on him to find out why he passed out or had that seizure. I mean, he was constantly going to the VA hospital, you know, having tests run and all kind of stuff. And he found out he had epilepsy. And it never surfaced until I was almost like a teenager, almost a teenager. And then he had epileptic seizures, I guess, the rest of his life, basically. They did give him he's turned his driver's license in because he'd black out driving, and it scared him. And it scared me one time. I was in the car with him, and he was driving, and he just went limp like that, just blacked out. He knew everything that was going on, but he lost all muscle control and just flumped in the seat and couldn't control the car. So I reached over and I was doing the steering for my dad, and I finally got the car stopped. And after that, he turned his driver's license in. He said with no license, he wouldn't be driving. Well, later on, they figured out exactly what was going on with him. They found the medication that would control his seizures. And he was told he could drive. And he said then he wanted to go get his driver's license back. And I can't remember if he did or not. I think he did. But when he got him back, he only would drive his motorcycle. And then he would only go on the little river roads, the dirt roads down to the river and back fishing. He wouldn't go on the highway. But he had the kind of epilepsy that when you have a seizure, you lose all body control. I mean, he couldn't even hold his head up. His hands would slump. If he was standing up, he'd literally fall to the ground. But he'd be fully awake. But he couldn't talk to you. You know, he couldn't communicate with you. And at that point, they gave my mom some kind of pills that he put under his tongue, and it would bring him right back, fix him right up, and he was fine. But it was scary when that happened to him. Linda, look up on the upper right side of your screen if you're using a computer. Okay, what am I looking for? I've got my camera here, and I got my computer in front of me that I'm reading the chat off of because it has bigger typing and I can read it better, and it doesn't fade away like the other one does. It's a practice camera on an ongoing study, just like medicine. There's always some new discovered in dentistry, and that trickles down to the lab technician. It's mostly computer now. Vegan menu, what am I looking at the upper right-hand corner of my screen for? I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh, I thought you meant me when I said Linda. It said look up. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were telling the other lady to, that's how to open her chat. Sometimes it's at the lower right, under where the chat would pop up from. But, you know, everybody's is different probably, depending on what device you're on. But you can tell everybody now you came to Linda's disco party tonight. We had the lights flash. Oh, there it is again. It's coming back on. Oh, my God. Can you believe that? Why is it doing that, y'all? Somebody tell me. You're on your phone? I don't know. Let me see if I can bring it up on this. I don't know. Let me see if I can bring it up on this. And I might be able to help you out with it. I don't know. I've never noticed. But there's those flashing lights again. I don't know why. I'm going to bring my live up on this. Yeah, there's three dots up here to the right. If you'll click on that, it'll give you the option to turn on your captions. That might work because my captions are turned on. I don't know if that would help. But my chat came up immediately. I didn't have to bring it up. Let me see if I turn it off, if it'll get rid of them. No, I can't turn it off in there. It won't let me. So mine must be turned on from my computer as a default. And when I open up the live, the chat just automatically pops up. So you might have to go into your computer settings or your phone settings and turn on closed captions, the CC. It'd be in that menu up there with the three dots up at the right-hand corner. And that was a phone, but it don't have phone service. But I can still get on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff on it. Yeah, when it opens up, it looks like that. It brings up a menu. And you can see at the bottom, the second one from the bottom, My closed caption is turned on. That's why it's darkened out. It's turned on. See if yours is turned on. If it's not, that's why your chat's not coming up. Yeah, vegan menu, it stopped. The aliens are landed. That's what it was all about. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I can tell you to do is check up there to see if the closed caption's turned on. And if it's not turned on, then that's why you're not seeing the chat. Uncle BB said, I love the nightlife. I got to boogie in the disco, Donna Summer Hauser. Yeah. You came to my disco night. I'm on the computer right here in front of me that I'm reading because the screen is bigger and I can read the chat and it won't fade out. But I've got my chat right here in front of me, right here on the phone, and I can read it too. But closed captions is turned on. And if I turn the closed captions off, then my chat would probably disappear. But the problem on the phone, if you've noticed on your phone, if you've ever watched it, your chat will disappear. It fades out and then it comes back. It fades out and it comes back. And that drives me crazy because I'm in the middle of reading somebody's comment and it's faded out and I can't read it. So I opened my laptop and I'm not signed in on it, so I can't control anything. But I can read the chat just like you can. But it's on my laptop and it's enlarged, so if I can turn it around. I got so many wires over here. It covers the whole page, y'all. My whole page is white with writing across it. Yeah, if your closed caption is turned on, your live should pop up immediately when you open the live up, when the live starts. Marinelle, hello. You're so gorgeous. Puffy eyes and all, I'm gorgeous, huh? Tamara said it's fixed. Okay, good. Now you can see your chat. Glad we could help out. I got the 3 dots up here at the top of my bar, but I can't open them. It won't do anything. Maybe now. I love the night. Yeah, I think we've had a ball tonight. Disco dancing, talking about beauty products, about aliens and being possessed and poltergeist and ghost. Yeah, there's always little things like that. If you don't know what to do, you can't fix it. And most of the time, it's just a simple, easy fix. You just don't know where to go to do anything. Sometimes I do, yes. I clear my computers too. That might be one of the problems, and it might have too much stuff stored in it. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, it is subscribers only mode because that's one way I help try to keep most of the trolls out. But you're a subscriber, so you're here. Well, it should let you turn it on. It's been a while since I've cleared the cache in it, so that might have something to do with it. I may need to go in there and clean off some stuff. But that was the one other time it did that, and then tonight it did that. That's the only times it's ever done it. It says subscribers only, and I'm a subscriber. It won't. Well, it shouldn't interfere with you turning the caption on or off. And there's Fred Romero. Hello, Fred. Maybe you need to log out or close out the live and then go into your settings and turn on your closed captioning for your phone, and then come back into the live and see if that made any difference. It might work that way. You think the ghosts don't want you here? Yeah, I probably do need to go in there and do some cleanup on my phone, because I've got a lot of stuff stored in my phone. But you are writing something, Linda F, in chat, so it does acknowledge you. Yeah, it acknowledges you as a subscriber. You're in chat, so I don't know why it would not let you turn on your live chat. That's a mystery to me. Yeah, I've done that too, Tamara. But I didn't want to turn it off while I was live. If I turned it off, it would turn the camera off. And I was afraid it was going to disconnect my live. And when I turned it back on, everybody'd be gone. Fred's a latecomer tonight. But I will have to check into that. I'll have to clear the cache and get rid of some other data and stuff on my phone, because I've got a lot of stuff stored on there and I really don't need that much on it. This was my old phone, and when I got the new phone, when I got it, been a couple of years ago, I've just held on to this one, and I've used it to get on Facebook or YouTube or that kind of thing when I was using this one and I couldn't get on it with that one. Comes in handy sometimes, but I'll get rid of it eventually when I upgrade the phone I got now. You just found the channel just now that I was live? Okay. We forgive you. Yeah, can you believe it? May is at an end. Oh my God. The time has just flown by. We've got 2 more days to this month, and that's it, y'all. And then we're into April. No, March, June. We're into June, and my granddaughter's birthday will be in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's what I say, Fred. Better late than never. Yeah, we got 2 more days in this month, and my granddaughter's birthday is June 13th. And she was born on Friday the 13th, of all things. But let's see, I don't think that's on. Oh, yes, it is. Oh my God, y'all. Friday is on the 13th this month, or for June, next month. And I didn't think the 13th would come around on Friday the 13th for June for years, you know, how it rotates around. But oh my God, she is actually going to have her birthday on Friday the 13th this year. How neat. That is so neat. I'm going to have to tease my son and my granddaughter about that. Yeah, days are long and years are short. Oh, man. Well, 666 is the devil's numbers. Well, I always think of the Poltergeist movies and Friday the 13th movie and Jason and Chainsaw Massacre and all that when I think of Friday the 13th. And for my granddaughter to be born on Friday the 13th, I had to really tease my son about that. I told him, I said, nobody but my son could have a daughter born on Friday the 13th. Because he loved all those types of movies, the Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Jason, all the Jason movies. Oh my God. And for it to be on actual Friday this year is unreal. Yeah, Halloween movies. And her mom, she was born at Christmas time. Can't remember if it was right on Christmas Day or a day or so before or after, but she said she never really could figure out if she really liked the idea of having her birthday at Christmas time, because she always kind of felt slighted with her birthday because it was Christmas and everybody was celebrating Christmas. And she'd get all of her Christmas presents, and sometimes it was Christmas presents and birthday presents together. And she said she always would like to see what it was like to have a separate birthday and not Christmas and your birthday together. So I don't know. That's a mouthful, Tamara. Days are long, years are short. You know, I never understood what they said when I was just before becoming a teenager. They say you wait your whole child life until you hit teenage years. You can't wait to be a teenager. And then after you're a teenager, the years fly by, and before you know it, you're older, you're married, you got kids of your own, you got grandkids. Where did all the years go? You know? Is that like I might have been born at night, but not last night? Well, my granddaughter was not born at night. It was during the daytime. I don't remember what time of day. It was sometime in the morning, I think. But it was Friday the 13th. And Tamara's little brother was born on Friday, December 13th. So he's a Friday the 13th baby too. My cat Craver, why do you go live so often? I don't. I went live last night for the first time, what, in about a week? And then I just decided to go live tonight because Thursday night is the usual night that I go live. And I haven't been going live on Thursday night lately. Yeah, where did yesterday go? I said I went to sleep, had a dream, and woke up. My kids are grown. And I got a grown granddaughter. I guess I was so busy working, paying bills, taking care of kids, and doing all the running around that I just didn't stop to even know it was daytime or nighttime. And it's like I said, it's like I went to sleep and woke up and my kids are grown. You know, everything's changed. I'm older. I'm doing great, my cat Craver. And I'm glad you came over and joined us. But yeah, we had so many trolls coming into the live that I quit having them on Thursday and Sunday to see if we could get rid of some of the trolls from bothering us. Because they were leaving some pretty vulgar stuff in the chat, and I didn't like that. And my viewers don't like that. Even my moderators don't like that. Vegan said the more lives, the better. It's more happy hangouts with each other. Yeah. Yeah, some of these people on YouTube have nothing better to do than to get into the people's live chats and leave really vulgar, nasty comments just to cause trouble. And I'm not the only one they do it to. They do to other people that go live too. Tamara said it seems funny but true. It seems it took forever to get to 21 years old. I could get into clubs, have cocktails, and now I'm 74 and time has flown by. Yeah. That's what I say. It just got like in the blink of the eye, the years disappeared. And especially like I think when I hit 18, 19 years old, oh my God. Because that's when I was working, I got a job and I was working all the time and time just flew. I mean, months, years just flew by. What advice would I give to a teenage girl right now? One of the best things I could tell you to do is stop and smell the roses. And what I mean by that is slow down. Don't push too fast. Enjoy life. Put it that way. Enjoy your life. Don't stress because someone's got something you don't have, or maybe someone's got a fancy house and you don't. Slow down, smell the roses, and enjoy life. And be wary of strangers. Be wary of people. You can't trust everybody out there. Some of the worst people can come with some of the smoothest talk and some of the best personalities and just snow you over and do you in before you know what happened. So that's my two best things I could tell anybody. Slow down, smell the roses, and that means to enjoy life. Don't stress. Just take life simple. Enjoy the good things in life, and that's relationships, people, your family, and then trust. Some people say, I have trust issues. Well, yeah, I've learned in my years not to be so trustworthy of everyone because I've done that in the past, and I've always ended up getting the bad end of the situation. So I do have trust issues. You got to prove to me, you who are you say you are. You got to prove to me that you mean what you say to me and stuff like that, you know. I've been through too much in my life to take trust lightly. I trust a person, that person's got my back forever. They don't ever have to worry about me. And I hope the same way with people that I encounter and meet and trust, you know. It takes time to build, it takes time to build trust. You can't just trust everybody going and coming. They will do you in. I promise you they will. Everybody out there is not your friend. Yep. And the third one would be stay true to yourself. Don't put on a show to prove anything to anybody. Be yourself no matter what. If they don't like you for what you are, too bad. It's their loss. And bye. I used to worry about that a little bit. Well, I wasn't exactly what they wanted, or I don't look exactly the way they want a person to look to be their friend or to be their girlfriend or whatever. You know what? I don't worry about that anymore. I know if the right person comes along, he's going to love me, like me, and be with me for what I am, not for what I pretend to be. Not for the money I have in the bank, because I don't have any. Not for the fancy house that I live in, because I don't have one. Now tell you what, Uncle BB. You said, now tell me. Yeah, some people can come up to you and tell you a bold-faced lie, and they can look so truthful. You never know they were lying. Well said, Miss Linda. If my ad, my if I may add, my cat craver get close to Christ and king to him in every way. Cling to him every way. Yep. The fancy house, the fancy car, the huge bank account's not going to buy you a ticket to heaven. In fact, usually it'll buy you the ticket in the opposite direction. Where were you 40 years ago, Linda? Which Linda are you talking to? Where was I 40 years ago? I was here in Texas. I've lived in Texas since what, 1978 when we moved here. My kids were little tiny toddlers. My son was about a year and some months old, I think. What was it like growing up for you? Interesting. My dad was in the Navy when I was really small, but my mom kept having so many kids, brothers of mine, that she said she finally told Daddy he had to stay home. She was afraid if he didn't come home and get out of the Navy that we wouldn't have a daddy. So after about 13 years in the Navy, he got a discharge. We were living in New York City at the time when he got his discharge, and because that's where my mom was from. And I remember the day we packed up and moved to North Carolina. My dad come home from work one day. He said, I am fed up with this city. I'm not living here anymore. We're moving this weekend. And he said, look out the window. There was a U-Haul truck parked in front of the apartment building where we live. And what we could pack up in that U-Haul And our car is what we brought to North Carolina when we moved. Everything else stayed in the apartment. Daddy was just not no city guy. He did not like the big city. Didn't want to live there anymore. He didn't like a lot of the jobs he got up there. He probably would have been better off if he'd have stayed in the Navy, but I don't know if he would have. I just said that. But he was making the Navy his career. And I said it was a shame he stayed in 13 years and he didn't stay in the full 20 to get his full retirement from the Army, full benefits. There's my phone again. But yeah, my dad was from North Carolina, so I was actually born in North Carolina. When I was about 3 years old, we moved to New York because my mom wanted to move up there close to where her family was. And we stayed there until I was about 8 or 9. And then we moved back to North Carolina. And my mom stayed in North Carolina ever since then until she passed away, her and my dad both. They lived in Atkinson from that day on. And my mom never wanted to go back to New York City after she got used to living in the country. She said, no, I don't want to go back up there. I mean, there's good things about the city, but there's bad things too. There's so many homeless people living on the streets in some of the areas, you know. You can't even walk down the street without almost stepping on somebody laying across the street. And that's bad. I wouldn't want to live there in an area like that. Of course, my grandmother lived there. She didn't live on a street like that, but it wasn't too far away that you could go and see it. Hello, Too Tall Rob. What's going on with you tonight? You giving those raccoons and kitty cats a break? You come into my live, let them have a little break. They work hard for you. Yeah, I got to experience the big city life growing up from like 3 years to 8, 9 years old. And then I got to experience the real deep South country living, farm life when we moved back down there after I was 8 or 9. Because my dad's parents owned a farm. That was their way of life. They lived off their farm. And he had 9, 10 brothers and sisters. And they were all farm hands growing up. I said, yeah, that's probably why Daddy joined the Navy, was to get away from the farm. My speaker back there is making some funny sounds. I didn't know what it was fixing to do. So yeah, I know the concrete jungle and I know the pig pens. I put it that way. When I was little, I remember going up to the hog lot every day when I was there at my grandmother's house to feed the hogs with her. They had cows, horses, pigs, hogs, chicken. She had chickens and ducks and penguins and turkeys and everything that lived right in her backyard. I mean, they weren't even cages. They were roaming around free ranging, but they stayed right there. They knew where their food came from, I guess. You're a teenage girl growing up in the 2000s in the suburbs. It must be so different from how you grown up. I find it so interesting. Yeah. I mean, I never thought about it when we lived in New York. I mean, it was convenient living there. I liked where we lived. We lived in Manhattan. And the apartment building we lived in was brand new, so it was a nice place. We had a park in one direction, a couple of blocks that we could go to every day if we wanted to when we're not in school. On Saturdays, my parents would give me and my brothers an allowance, and we'd either go to the YMCA to go swimming, or we'd go see a movie, and get popcorn and stuff. I don't remember what our allowance was. It was like $1, maybe $1.25. But I tell you what, $1.25 went a long way back then. You could pay your way in to get to the movie, and you could get something to drink. You could get candy. You could get popcorn, all that for $1.25. We thought we were rich. I don't remember how much it cost to get into the YMCA, but it wasn't much. Something like 50 cents, I think, back then. Yeah, $1.25 to get a cup of ice water, if you're lucky. And I used to make the joke, I said, sooner or later they're going to charge for your air. And guess what? It wasn't too many years later that now you got to put coins in the air machine to put air in your tires. I think that's a ripoff. Okay, Tamara, I need to get off of here too. I've been on here too long. Oh my God, it's been 3 hours. Y'all, we got to go. We got to call it a night. Too Tall said, I'm a Navy veteran. Yeah, my dad is too. That's what we were talking about. He was stationed on the USS North Carolina battleship. So he wasn't home too much. It's not like living on a base and him being there, you know. He was on a battleship out in the ocean. It said one day they would regulate how many squares of paper we could wipe with. Oh my God. I believe it. I think they were pretty strict in the Navy. They probably rationed everything. Your dad was in the lumber business. I remember him talking about how they started regulating how many gallons of water we could flush with. Well, they're pretty much doing that to us here. We've been under a water rationing for 3 years now here in my subdivision. They're allowing no outside watering at all. You can't wash your car in your driveway. You can't spray your sidewalk off to your house. You can't wash your lawn furniture outside. You're only allowed to water plants 1 day a week, and you got to do that with a sprinkler in the ground, or you got to do it with a 5-gallon bucket. That's the reason I have all my water containers the way I do. So I can at least water my plants twice a week if they need it. I don't live in a trailer park. This is a subdivision. We got a brick home that went up over here. We got a home that went up over here. A wood framed house over here in front of me. This is an actual subdivision, the HOA. It's not a trailer park. It's the water company's regulation. It doesn't have anything to do with the HOA. Keep choking myself. Everybody that's with that water company is on the same restrictions. And it depends on the area that you're in with this water company, what your restrictions are. We're down to 1 day a week. And you think sooner or later they would get rid of it. I mean, 3 years is a long time to be under a water rationing. But it's one thing to do with so many people moving into these subdivisions. They've got so many houses being built. And some of these homes have more than one families living in them. And that means a lot of water usage. You know, not like me living here alone where I don't use that much water. I mean, when I bring up the water company's website to pay my water bill, there I am right at the top of the pyramid for using the least amount of water. Everybody else uses 2 and 3 and 4 times, 5 times as much as water as I do. Yeah, this is a HOA. It's a property owner's subdivision. We have a board of directors and all that kind of good stuff. So far, the regulations haven't bothered me. But then I don't do a whole lot except live here and garden and keep my yard mowed. Except for the Karen I got living down the street that bugged me at one time. She's pretty much left me alone now. I hope I don't ever hear from her anymore. Bottle up my extra water and sell it on the side. I've got 32-gallon containers that I store water and compost tea in just for my garden. I think I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got at least eight 32-gallon containers that I store water in to keep my garden watered. At least one day a week, and then I water with the city water one day a week. Now, I didn't need to do it this week because we got enough rain on my day that I didn't have to water anything. Well, so far now they do, and people have chickens. I mean, it's okay for you to have chickens, but you got to keep them confined to your lot in your backyard. You can't let them be roaming free. Oh, yeah, they have raccoons. I've had them come up to my door before. Wild raccoons, possums, armadillos, you name it. I've had so many armadillos rooting in my yard, it's crazy. It looks like pigs been rooting out there. I've caught so many possum in wild traps and raccoons in wild traps and just took them off down the road and put them out to keep them from getting under my house breeding and having babies. It's been a while since I've seen any try to get under the house, though. I've got it pretty well barricaded. They can't get under there. But one did come up on the porch a couple of different nights to get into the cat's dishes. And when I opened the door, it startled him when I turned the light on. And then he took off and climbed the tree. But the cats were going crazy. They didn't know if they wanted to fight with him or not. He just stood there. Can you believe I played tug of war with the Oreo cookie and one of the most beautiful skunks I've ever seen? You played tug of war with an Oreo cookie with a skunk? You met a rodeo clown that had a pet skunk. It was cool. Took it everywhere with him, even into a restaurant. I'm surprised the restaurants would let him take one in. Ooh, that's some sour lemonade, grape lemonade, after putting that sweet cough drop in my mouth. Well, y'all, we've got to get off here. It's over 3 hours now. It was Mom and Pop's small town restaurant. That's also hosting the rodeo, kind of hard for them to say no, especially when the skunk was so cute. It might have attracted customers. You never know. He'd in a bad situation if that skunk had sprayed people in there. Or if he'd have sprayed anywhere in the restaurant. That would have been awful. Unless they had him descented. I don't know how they would do that if they could. I have skunks coming up in my yard sometimes, and I know they've been there because you can smell them. He was descented. Okay, yeah. Because that smell lasts forever. Oh, it takes forever for that smell to go away. It's actually a minor procedure. We got 35 people still in here. MT said, I thought about getting a therapy skunk and take it to Walmart. Only you would think of that, MT. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine the people's reaction if you walked into Walmart with a skunk. Diamond got scoured by a skunk. She came in the house only to get run back out of the house. She brushed up against my leather coat. It took me 2 weeks for the odor to dissipate. Oh my gosh. Talk about clearing out the bread off. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would do it pretty fast, I think. It would be quite efficient. Y'all, I needed this live tonight. I needed a good laugh, and y'all kept me laughing. Uh-huh. Somewhere I have a stuffed skunk pelt that is quite a fun thing to carry around in the crowd. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine just walking into a Walmart, especially in a Walmart grocery with a skunk in your arms. Or even better, have him walking on with a leash, have him trained for a leash and have him walking like a dog in there. And you clear out the whole store. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can just visualize that. Oh. Oh, we had when I was still substitute teaching over at the middle school one time, we had a skunk that come through and he sprayed. Oh my God. And the spray somehow got into the classroom. It took forever for that smell to go away. He must have sprayed right under the windows or around the windows or something because you could smell it in the classroom. It was terrible. Too tall, Rob, you're cracking me up. He said, I got up to get a cup of coffee, fell down, and tried to put my ankle in my armpit. It did not work out. Oh. Oh my God, I gotta stop reading y'all's chat. Oh, for real, too tall? Or are you kidding around? You fractured your hip and they're talking about doing surgery? Well, you'll have to get you a therapy skunk and take it to the hospital with you. Can you believe 10 days later I was a Kid Rock and Uncle Cracker concert with a hip? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm crying, y'all. Too Tall Rob and MT both have got me cracked up. Oh. MT said, Rob, if you need a therapy skunk with a skunk hat, you could have the whole store to yourself. You probably could. Oh. That sounds like fun. You ever want to clear out a store, just take a skunk with you. Or if you want to go shopping by yourself and you don't want anybody bothering you, just take a skunk shopping with you. I guarantee you the store will clear out. I think skunks are pretty. They're pretty animals, but I can't handle the smell. Raccoons are pretty too. I mean, the one that used to come here that I caught in the live trap, he was a pretty skunk. I mean, a raccoon. I never did catch a skunk, thank goodness. I don't know what I would have done with him. Because I'd have been afraid to put that thing in my car, even in the trap. Because if he'd have sprayed it in the trunk, I would have never got the smell out. Wonder how it would work in the airport. Life with Pippintine said her therapy skunk has a therapy skunk. Oh my goodness, y'all were in a funny mood. I mean, I don't even think that the little possums look too bad, but they kind of look nasty sometimes. I've caught possum, raccoons, cats, neighbors' cats, every kind of animal imaginable except the skunk. I've never caught a skunk in the live trap. But if I ever caught a cat in there, I just turned him loose in the yard and he ran off. Because by the time I got around to turning him loose, he was glad to get out of the trap. He's just talking about me. Know what you call a blind deer? I don't know. By the time I got through with that long sentence, I was kind of confused at what you're even saying. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Too Tall Rob says, I have no idea. I think my microphone got higher and started stuttering. Y'all, I'm going to be laughing so much I'm going to be sick here in a minute. Y'all sure know how to cheer a person up, that's for sure. But anyway, we got to end this live. It's almost 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 12 minutes, y'all. Your Uncle BB's dad trapped skunks in high school. What did he do with them, Uncle BB? Okay, Ann. Ann doesn't feel well. She's going to rest. You have a good night, Ann. Maybe, hopefully, you'll feel better tomorrow. I hope so anyway. I'll say a prayer for you tonight. You have a good night. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. Yeah, I'm going to end the live anyway, Ann, because we've been on it's over 3 hours now. That's a long live, you know. And all we've been doing is chatting and having a good time, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed the heck out of it. But y'all have a blessed night. I love each and every one of you. I'm glad you came into my chat. You spend time with me, cheer me up, always keep me in a good mood. And anybody you know, tell them to please like, share, and subscribe to my videos and my channel. Y'all have a blessed night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you next time. Bye now. Love y'all.